Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to American Outdoors. Originally, this video was going to be about how to repair and reinstall your tilt steering column for your square body Chevy trucks. Got a loose one in here, had a lot of wobble to it, but unfortunately, the more that I tore into it, the more I found cross-threaded bolts, broken screws, missing springs, missing bearings. There's damage to the column that was caused by a previous removal, and I really didn't see the point in putting it back together the way it was. It's going to require me pulling the column out, getting it on a bench, and if we can repair it, replace the parts, we'll do it there. So instead, I have got a non-tilt column here that we've already gone through the top end, and I'm going to show you the basics of removing your steering column and reinstalling it. So I said that the column that's in this 85K10 is a tilt steering column. This is a non-tilt, and it makes no difference. As a matter of fact, from 73 through 79, and then I believe 80 to 82, and then 83 up to 91, there's just some very slight differences. Up until 79, this was just a turn signal stalk. In 83, they got rid of the floor dimmer, and it went to a stalk dimmer. This also has your cruise control, things like that. But I'm going to show you, while it's here on the tabletop, the pieces that you need to uncouple, unhook, because it's going to be much easier to explain this out in the daylight. And then I'll also get some shots under the dash and under the hood, as best as an old fat broken down man like me can do, to give you some reference. As far as the tools, as you can see, you don't need very many. A ratchet with a couple extensions, 10mm socket for an 85. They may be standard on the earlier models. A 15mm box end, and needle nose pliers, and of course you always got to have a flathead screwdriver, and you always have to have a hammer, and then a small pry bar chisel. Everybody has their own methods and their own steps for how they remove a column on these square body trucks. I'm going to show you what works for me, but one of my techniques is I try to stay under the hood and then under the dash. I try not to keep getting out from under the dash where I'm already corkscrewed in and then going back out, and vice versa. However, the first two things that you need to do are vital, and one of them is under the hood and one of them is under the dash. They seem small, but in order to avoid any damage, they need to be done first, and here's what they are. Step number one is to remove the gear selector indicator clip from the side of the column. Now this is mounted inside like that, and this is a very basic design. It's just got a cable, a little string, and it clips onto your column, and then as you shift into a lower gear, it pulls down, draws the indicator over, you shift up, the spring releases tension, and it goes back up into neutral, reverse, park, so on and so forth. Just a little Phillips screw, but you need to remove that very first thing. It doesn't seem like a lot, but if you don't, you're going to break this, and then, well, you're going to need another one of these. Step number two is to remove the little cotter key right there that holds your shift linkage rod onto the column. You don't want to leave that on until the last minute, because if you forget, you can risk bending the rod or getting stuff hung up after you've already dropped the column and you're trying to pull it out. I also recommend that you not do this over rocks like I am. And if you do, that you have some extra ones. Because if this falls out of my grip, I will never see this cotter pin in this lifetime again. Well, looky there. Inside on your dash, below the column, you will need to remove 4 Phillips screws. And I did not mention that you need a Phillips screwdriver. Yes, you do. You're going to take these 4 screws out, and there are some little hooks right here. Just pull it off. Once you've removed the plastic lower collar for your dash bezel, there is a metal plate which goes below it and has 2 screws, and you're just going to back these out. They're Phillips. And set it aside. After you've removed those 2 plates, you're going to see this collar right here, which there will be 2 studs coming down from the bottom of the dash, and they will run through here, and they will be secured by these 15mm nuts, just like that. And then there will be 4 13mm bolts that will go through on both sides of the column and thread through like that. So you'll take these out, 1, 2, 3, 4, take these out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then the column will drop. Now, some people want to pull the wiring before they do that. I don't. There's really, to me, no risk of damage, but that's your preference. You can do it. So now we've reached the point where the collar is off and the steering column has been dropped down. I should have mentioned this actually from the beginning. Disconnect your battery, because you're at the point now where you're going to be pulling wires. You don't want to have any problems with shorts. Also, when I disconnected the linkage, I should have mentioned you can use your emergency brake if it still is functional, or just block the wheels. You know, if you're on a grade, you don't want the thing rolling down the hill. So you're going to disconnect the neutral safety switch. There'll be a plug-in that goes to the main wiring. Also, your ignition switch. You'll need to unplug that here. This is on the 83 and up columns that have the bright lights built into the column stalk. So you'll need to unplug that. And then you're done with your wiring. Down here, you've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a rubber boot that goes to a plate of the same shape, a metal plate. There'll be 5 10mm bolts, and that's what you'll use your socket, your extension, 3/8 drive ratchet, and pull those bolts out. So we're just about at the end of the tunnel. Once you've gotten the plate inside free, there will be a collar right here, and that will have 2 more 15mm nuts. And I'll show you right there and there. Once you get that off, that's pretty much about it. She's ready to come out. The total amount of time that it took me to pull that steering column out of this old K10 was about 30 minutes. Now this one has had a hard life, and its best days were long behind it. The longest amount of time it took me on any singular action was probably disconnecting the shaft. It took me about 5 minutes to drive that loose. Everything else was 2 minutes here, 3 or 4 minutes there. I ran into some wiring issues on the column where, for whatever reason, 5 or 10 stereos or CDs or power boosters ago, everything was zip tied in there. So I had to go through and cut everything out, untangle some wires and some Scotch locks and, you know, electrical tape. That was a mess. But about 30 minutes. So, I mean, of course, that's not counting all of the shooting, setting up the video, the retakes, because I can't pronounce neutral safety switch. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. It really shouldn't take me much longer than that again. So with basic hand tools, I hope this helps some folks understand, whether you're an old timer or new to these old trucks, it's easy to do these steering column removals. So like and subscribe. Check us out for some other videos which may interest you about square bodies, gardening, cast iron cookware, farming, homesteading, tractors, reviews, whatever. In the meantime, from American Outdoors, thank you, God bless, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.